So, this game is actually a thing, and well, I've done this with other games I've been looking forward to, and I'll probably do it again in the future. Time to look at the top 10 characters that I want to see in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Though, while the title does say top 10, since this is a crossover game, I'll be listing my top 5 most wanted Marvel characters and top 5 most wanted Capcom characters. Admittedly, this is so the list won't be like 80% Marvel or something like that. Just 2 rules first. 1, this list is going to be of new characters, so as much as I would like to see some characters like Venom and Batsu who weren't in the last Marvel vs. Capcom game return, since they were in other games of the vs. Capcom series, they don't qualify for the list. 2, due to the fact that it's kinda iffy if there's going to be any X-Men and Fantastic Four characters because of the whole Fox having the movie rights situation, I'm going to play it safe and keep those characters off of the list, but I will give a quick honorable mention to Nightcrawler. And with those out of the way, anyways, let's begin. Dimitri. Now, I'll just admit this, I had some trouble with the Capcom side, and it's not because I'm not as familiar with Capcom, though admittedly that is a little part of it. It's more because I feel that a lot of the better picks have been in previous games already. So yeah, I'm just going to admit Dimitri is a bit of a filler entry here. More or less I thought, hey, Darkstalkers is a series with a cool cast of characters, and also, you know, this series is more or less dead outside the vs. Capcom games, and hey, Dimitri's a character who hasn't been in the previous games, and vampires are, well, they're not as cool as they used to be, but hey, I would say by now the scars caused by Stephanie Meyer have healed a little bit. Daredevil. Now, with Marvel vs. Capcom 3, I was disappointed that Daredevil wasn't in it, since we had She-Hulk and Phoenix Wright, and for some reason I just thought the idea of having a team of 3 lawyers to be funny. And because of that idea, he would be high on the list if we knew for certain if She-Hulk and or Phoenix Wright were returning or not. So, as of right now, he's number 5 for Marvel, but if one of those 2 do come back, he'll be bumped up to number 3. Tofu. Now hold up. Don't click off the video just yet. Just hear me out here. This is a crossover game, a celebration of both companies, and I think it's good to celebrate the silliness as well. And Tofu, being a joke character in its game of origin, would be a good joke character for this game as well. I mean, hell, it being a sentient block of tofu, you could pretty much do whatever the fuck you want with the moveset. You could just stick with traditional Resident Evil stuff, or you could just say fuck it and go nuts with it. You can make Tofu's moves reference games that are too obscure to even end up in this game. Pretty much, you could make Tofu the Mr. Game & Watch of this game. I mean, it's pretty much the most creative potential you can have with a Resident Evil character. I mean, outside the villains from this game series, most of them are just person with guns. Plus, if the special intros return, I would like to see how some of the characters will react to seeing them fighting a giant piece of tofu. Groot. I think Groot with his growing powers mixed with his strength could be pretty interesting. Besides, with the potential of no Fantastic Four characters, Groot could be a decent replacement of Super Skrull. I mean, minus the fire and the force fields, of course. Though, another potential option that a friend of mine suggested that I'm actually also a fan of is the idea of putting Rocket on his shoulder and having them work together as a single character. You know, kinda like Ferritor from Mortal Kombat X. But if you gave Farah a gun. Also, since all of his dialogue will be, I am Groot, once again, I want to see the possible intros. Now, originally when I first thought of this list, I was going to put Dr. Wily on it, but then I realized the only moves I could think for him would be pretty similar to Trombone, and really out of the 2, I would rather have her. But then another Mega Man character came to mind, the Yellow Devil. Now, the Yellow Devil being this big blob thing, it's very clear that you could just do shape-shifting and whatnot for its moveset, and admittedly, that is a moveset you could also give to a character like the Sandman or something, but out of the 2, I would rather have Yellow Devil. So I guess in other words, I picked the Yellow Devil as this slow, shape-shifting powerhouse, which I'm totally for. Also, if it was playable, I mean, it should be obvious, but one of its supers has to be that breaking down into balls and flying across the screen thing. You know what I'm talking about, right? SpiderGwen. Really? This pick is mostly because, well, I like her design, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people too, because, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't she go off from a one-off design to actually being a thing just because of how good she looks? Now I know what some of you might be thinking. Wouldn't she just be a clone of Spider-Man? Well, I would hope not, because 1, the words clone and Spider-Man should never be near each other ever again, and 2, in the last game, She-Hulk and X-23 weren't cloned, so I'm pretty sure you can make a different moveset for SpiderGwen. I'm not sure how, but hey, that's not my job to figure out. Azura. Now, I'll admit that I have never played Azura's Wrath, and I have no plans to ever play Azura's Wrath for 2 reasons. 1, because the ending is DLC thing is pretty fucking bullshit, and 2, well, I have a story about that. You see, this one time I went to GameStop and I was just browsing around my own business. Hell, I don't even know if I had money on me at the time, but that doesn't really matter. When suddenly this creepy dude who looked like the real-life version of the comic book guy from The Simpsons came up to me, and I have no idea why he did this because he was clearly not an employee. He came up and kept trying to convince me to buy Azura's Wrath. I kept telling him, no, I don't want to buy that game, but no, he would not leave me alone. I think I actually had to tell him to fuck off before he went away. Despite that situation, from what I have seen in the game, it's pretty much an interactive anime and it's just full of insanity. I mean, I just feel that Azura was made for one of these games. The moveset kinda makes itself. Plus, I also want to see him fight the Hulk. I mean, come on, it's 2 angry guys, or hell, even team them up to make Team Rage. I don't know. Howard the Duck. Once again, like with Tofu, I am being serious here. Now, Howard is another character that I want just because of the silliness, but actually when I thought about this, something came to mind for his moveset, and I really want it now. Now, as we all know, Disney owns Marvel, and back in the NES days, Capcom made a bunch of Disney's games, one in particular being DuckTales. And with Howard himself being, well, a duck, I think you can see where I'm going with this. I mean, you could give him like one move where he pulls an umbrella or some shit like that out of hammer space and have him hop on it like Scrooge McDuck. Also, once again, to bring up the character intros again, I would like to see characters' reactions to finding a ducking fuck. Jury. Now, when it comes to Street Fighter characters, we already have Ryu, and there's no way in hell Chun-Li is not in this game. Also, due to his iconicness and popularity, along with the fact that he's in Tekken 7, I have a feeling that Akuma has a good chance of returning as well. And going off of the fact that Marvel vs. Capcom 3 have 4 Street Fighter characters, I feel like that's a good number, and well, at first I looked at Street Fighter 5 to see if there's any new characters that I feel like deserve to be in the game, but I felt like none of the new guys really made a big enough impact to, you know, be worthy of this game. So I went looking back at Street Fighter 4 and I chose Jury because I like her personality. And by that I mean that looking at her compared to a lot of the other characters throughout the Street Fighter series, she actually has a personality. Also, she kinda reminds me of Azula from Avatar. I don't know, does anyone else see that? Though, admittedly, one can argue that she shouldn't be able to qualify for this list because she was in Street Fighter Cross Tekken, but The Punisher. Now, admittedly, he beat Guy with Guns, which is something that I kinda bashed Resident Evil for earlier, but I don't know, the Punisher just feels different to me. I guess maybe I find Psychotic Vigilante way more interesting than Special Forces Man. Plus, to bring up the possible interactions again, I actually did think of one between the Punisher and Howard the Duck. I heard you shot up some ducks, what the hell? They had to go. I'm not good at voices, but you get the idea. It's in reference to this unintentionally funny moment from the comics where the Punisher killed a bunch of ducks just because they were in the way. So, those were my most wanted characters for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Well, let's see if any of these happen.